The following is the supervisor training for the Jordan Classified Evaluation System, JCES. For your information, ESP evaluations are administered pursuant to District Policy 400.30, Evaluation of ESP Personnel. For a complete copy of the policy, please visit policy.canyonsdistrict.org. JCES is the evaluation tool used to evaluate contract ESP employees as well as non-licensed administrators, and to recognize their exemplary performance and to provide feedback for improvement. Each year, as part of the evaluation process, employees are oriented to JCES at least 15 working days prior to the issuance of their evaluation. This supervisor training is also your orientation, if applicable. Utah State law and Canyon School District policy requires provisional, probationary, and contracted educational support professionals and non-licensed administrators to be evaluated annually. Newly hired ESP employees are provisional with the district for 3 years. A district employee who accepts another position that is substantially different from the position in which career status was achieved, such as an assistant custodian who accepts a position as a head custodian, is returned to provisional status in the new position for 3 years. JCES has 4 main components: employee orientation and notification, evaluation ratings, and a professional development meeting. At the beginning of each school year, the Department of Human Resources sends to supervisors for distribution a personalized evaluation notification letter and a sample JCES form for the employee's review. The supervisor also receives a personalized JCES form to be completed for each employee. This is the front of a JCES form, where the evaluator indicates the ratings in each of the specific and general performance areas. This is completed prior to the professional development meeting. There are 4 ratings that can be marked on the JCES form. An exceptional rating is given only to employees who demonstrate and exemplify extraordinary performance. Specific written documentation must accompany this rating. A totally satisfactory rating is given when an employee demonstrates and exemplifies outstanding performance. A rating of some improvement needed is given when an employee needs to improve his or her performance in a specific area. An unsatisfactory rating is given only when it is supported by written documentation. When a rating of unsatisfactory is given, a goal must be set to target the area or items that must improve. The back of the form is used to note specific strengths and/or instances of outstanding work by the employee, as well as to determine a professional development plan by identifying goals. When the summative overall rating is satisfactory, the recommended status section is marked provisional or regular contract status, depending upon the employee's employment status. If an employee has 2 or more unsatisfactory ratings on specific and/or general performance areas, the employee's summative overall rating did not meet standard. Contact Human Resources to schedule a SAT meeting prior to holding the professional development meeting. During the professional development meeting, the evaluator meets with the employee and discusses the ratings given, as well as provides feedback to the employee, jointly setting goals for improvement. Goals should be realistic and measurable. Also, review professional development opportunities available, such as department trainings, classes offered by the district, the Employee Assistance Program, or mentoring. As a reminder, if the career employee did not meet standard on the evaluation, a supervisor assistance team meeting must be held prior to holding the professional development meeting. With the assistance of SAT, a plan of assistance and a written reprimand will be drafted and issued by the supervisor at the same time as the JCES. The original signed documents must be submitted to Human Resources after issuance. For your information, the written reprimand notifies the employee that an additional JCES will be completed any time after 20 working days. Remember, the JCES form must be signed by the supervisor and authorized evaluator when applicable, as well as the employee. After the evaluation is signed, the evaluator makes 2 copies, returning the original signed form to Human Resources. A copy is then given to the employee and the additional copy retained in the supervisor's file. A supervisor may delegate evaluation responsibility to an authorized evaluator who works more directly with the employee and who has been trained on the JCES. The authorized evaluator may not delegate that responsibility to anyone else. Only the following can serve as JCES authorized evaluators: the authorized evaluator rates the employee's performance on the JCES form and signs in the authorized evaluator space. Prior to conducting the professional development meeting, the authorized evaluator must confer with the director or principal, making certain that both are in agreement with the evaluation ratings. You must also enter a review date, having the principal or director sign the form in the director-principal space. Once this has been completed, the authorized evaluator may conduct the professional development meeting with the employee. As evaluators, it is important that we maintain the integrity of the evaluation system by avoiding biases and by marking the employee evaluations accurately and fairly. For your information, there is a tendency for evaluators to rate an employee higher than their performance warrants and/or to use the straight line approach, thus reducing conflict. Both are not good practices for either the employee or the district and should be avoided. Employees should not get or expect high ratings in the areas of performance where they have been struggling throughout the year. As a review, when giving a rating of exceptional or unsatisfactory, the evaluator must have written documentation, such as site visit reports, notes, emails, memos of concern, or a written reprimand supporting the rating. By doing so, the district will be protected from wrongful action charges should they arise. The feedback an employee receives from JCES will recognize quality service and identify areas for improvement. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, please feel free to contact the Department of Human Resources.